Military bases that China has built on artificial islands in the South China Sea are too small, too far from the mainland and vulnerable to attack, according to a magazine associated with the Chinese Navy. But it pointed to weaknesses that could render them of little use in a conflict. These artificial islands have unique advantages in safeguarding Chinese sovereignty and maintaining a military presence in the deep ocean, but they have natural disadvantages in self-defense, the magazine said. On that count, the U.S. Pacific Fleet, with its 5 supercarriers and 5 smaller assault ships, has the advantage over the Chinese fleet and its 2 medium carriers. None of China's assault ships can support fixed-wing planes. Since 2013, China has built unmoving aircraft carriers in the form of island outposts in the Spratly and Paracel island chains in the South China Seas. Several of the 27 outposts include runways, notably Fiery Cross, Mischief, and Subi Reefs in the Spratlys and Woody Island in the Paracels. They have surface-to-air missiles and have temporarily hosted anti-ship cruise missiles. Their airfields are capable of receiving fighter jets and have shelters capable of holding missiles. American planes, by comparison, normally are concentrated on a smaller number of permanent bases. Kadena Air Base on Japan's Okinawa Prefecture is the main hub for U.S. and Allied tactical air power in the Western Pacific. During a crisis, the base could host hundreds of fighters and support planes. The Pentagon's other major base in the region, in Guam, is 1,750 miles from the South China Sea. Andersen Air Force Base usually hosts bombers, tankers and spy planes, all of which possess much greater endurance than fighters do. It's not for no reason that, in a major war, China almost certainly would target Kadena. When the Center for a New American Security, a Washington, D.C., think tank, gamed out a war in the East China Sea this summer, a Chinese missile attack on Kadena effectively ended the simulation. The Marine Corps still trains to storm beaches and capture airfields, just like it did during World War II. The Navy has developed a whole new doctrine for helping air, ground and amphibious forces seize, hold and supply far-flung outposts, all while under fire by Chinese missileers. Beijing knows its islands are in Washington's crosshairs. China has fortified many of the islands with radars, missiles and guns and practiced flying air patrols over them. In a crisis, expect the People's Liberation Army to reinforce the islands with additional planes, weapons and troops. Seizing a Chinese outpost would be tough. An airborne force would have to penetrate dense air defenses. An amphibious flotilla would have to fight its way past Chinese submarines and anti-ship missile batteries. A base seizure operation could end up looking a lot like the bloodiest battles of the Pacific theater of World War II. However, said their isolation made them difficult to defend and supply in case of attack. Fiery Cross Reef, one of the bases, is 1,000 kilometers (600 miles) from the closest resupply in Hainan Island, a journey that would take naval support ships 20 hours. China's J-16 fighter jets do not have the range to patrol the area effectively. Because they only have one runway, the bases would struggle to support more than one aircraft at a time. The island's low-lying position and lack of physical shelter leaves them vulnerable to high tides and storms, and offers no shelter against missile attack. The U.S. need more basing options. If China craters Kadena and sinks or damages a couple of carriers, America's F-15s, F-16s, F-22s and F-35s wouldn't be able to reach the war zone without a massive surge in aerial tankers flying from Guam or major and risky intervention in the conflict by U.S. allies such as the Philippines, Vietnam or Singapore, countries whose own bases could put U.S. air power in the range of the South China Sea. There's an alternative, a risky, but promising one. U.S. troops could capture some of China's island outposts. If they succeeded, American fighters could surge into the heart of the South China Sea.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe for our channel.